I will be using text-to-speech during this video because I recorded this in the middle of the night. This video includes occasional swearing, so it is for a teen and up audience.
Hello there everyone, and this is a small Boatem tour.
The Hermitcraft 8 map was released for free in Bedrock, and I wanted to check Boatem out since they're my favorite and show everyone too. Over here is the Hermitcraft welcome message.
They have also included the coordinates for every base and such.
I will be showing other bases, aside from Boatem, if you would like me to. Unfortunately, I am an idiot who did not listen to said coordinates, so you are about to watch sped-up footage of me getting lost and constantly crashing into walls.
Where the fuck am I?
I eventually found my way to Jem's base. It looks incredible in the night, and it was very nostalgic to see. I started exploring all the inside and felt really weird at being able to move around at my own volition. Do you see the reindeers? Isn't that so cool? Yes, I know it's cool, I know it's wonderful. You have to say it's cool, please say it's cool. Something really funny is that obviously, since the original server was in Java, a lot of things didn't translate to Bedrock properly, and instead of custom stuff. From player heads, there's just decapitated Steve everywhere, and it makes you think this server was full of murderers, which they are just not here specifically. The other day, I watched the Minecraft movie at 2 a.m., and it was alright. I don't understand who the chip man who blew up was, and why he was so important, but I guess he's there now. I think Jason Momoa was a little bit of a homosexual, but Mumbo Jumbo showed up, and I was very glad about that. Also, why the fuck did they make the villager British? My face was just like this bat's when I heard that. Into the nether we go! I went into the nether hub, wonderfully done by the way, looking to find an easier shortcut towards Boatem. I was then shot 57 times by the harsh truth that this place was built like a fucking maze, and I had no clue where I was going, or if I was in a room I'd been in before. I don't know if the hermits struggle with this as well, or if I'm just a complete moron. Is this fucking Among Us? Well, don't mind if I do. During my exploration of the Nethy Hub, I was pleased to find the schizophrenic rambles about the moon from the previous habitants before the moon killed them all with its rage or something. This really made me feel saner. Really, I mean it. I spawned over here after entering the portal where Scar had left a message. This build here is very nostalgic and beautiful, and it felt weird to not see it covered in boats. Look at the iconic B-dubs moon woo. Woo! 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 These buildings are so cool done. The amount of blocks makes it stop looking like some weird square and instead like an actual place. These people are insane, but at least they get paid for it. I don't get paid for all the shit I deal with in the daily. I have to deal with it for free. That's why I live in my basement and only speak to my mother.
Wow. 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 Wowie.
I was greeted to Boatem by Scar Swaggin. It is really the weirdest feeling ever to be able to look at everything by myself. I also realized the organization of each build was a little different than what I assumed by the videos. I'm going to take a quick look at each megabase in the night before going inside. There's Grian's Observatory. Impulse's factors look scrumptious. Over here is the Boatem hole, which doesn't really have the boats stacked because bedrock fucking sucks. We have the end crystal meeting room, bouncy room with potato mumbo.
The hole.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hermitcraft Season 8. My name is Grian. I have 8 million subscribers on youtube.com, and this is my super cool midnight alley that I totally built by myself. I was inspired to make this super cool alley that I totally built by those buildings in the UK that are a bazillion years old, therefore they're more crooked than their habitants' teeth. You shall not ask any questions in the comments about the several decapitated heads around the street. Over here you can see my bank, which has a beautiful back to it, that I won't show it for no specific reason.
The Midnight Alley has a very special feel to it. I think the floating candles were the best touch. I'm currently looking for the side that Scar built. There, look at the smoke. Over here is this storage room, which is random junk thrown about. I cannot find a coherence to it. I vaguely remember Grian making this entire place just to hide something. And over here is the magical bobagery. There's a chest monster over here. I looked through it, but didn't find much other than building materials and some medium valuables, although I did see a lot of TNT, and surprisingly, most buildings and shops were empty, which makes sense because this map is originally in survival and even gives you a starter kit loot at spawn. I switched to creative because I wanted to see Boatem as quick as possible. Over here is Grian's train station shop, which, as I said, was mostly empty. Here are the Boatem hourglasses, which originally held all of the members' diamond blocks. These have been ramshackled too. Blimey! Here is Grian's original starter base. Let's go inside. It's the fake one. Scar's awesome swaggin', which I will get to in a bit. Teresa's over here holding Mumbo's van. You can also see the obsidian where the end crystals used to be. Here is the Mooner's cult shrine. Take a look at Impulse's starter base. I remember him exploding up here. This is Pearl's starter base, which I remember she disliked the position of and just moved the whole thing. The people here had problems in their cube heads. Walking around here feels very odd. It's not in a YouTube video anymore, nor is it as lively. It feels like a ghost town. This leftover message of Scar's waxing service adds on to my abandoned town idea. You can pause to read it for a bit. Here's his honeycomb farm as well. Welcome to Swaggin' Land. My home is now yours. This makes me a little sad. Quick run around Scar's interiors. Here is Scar's bedroom and desk. He also had some sort of lounge called the Good Vibes Room. Scar's builds are easily of my favorites. I enjoy his rustic, homey, steampunk look and interiors full of life and stories. If I recall correctly, copper was introduced in Hermitcraft 8, which is why it was used a lot in the builds. Hermits still enjoy their good copper, but it's used less now. That was such a horrifying chest monster, I didn't even want to look at it. Hey, look, Scar left all of his emeralds. I am now heading into Impulse's factory. The design here is really good. I always wonder how exactly they come up with the shapes of these. You can see his truck's still parked. Tricky entrance.
The spaces of these are massive. If I were tasked to build this in survival, I would cry. Also, I got sick of the other voice, now I'm Korean again.
Organized storage. Beautiful.
Hello everyone! I bet you're surprised to hear my actual voice. It is not 2 in the morning anymore, so now I can actually record and not use those horrid AI voices. I hope I never have to do that again, ever in my life. Anyways, look at the Willy Wonka factory! Isn't this the coolest thing in the world? When I saw it, I absolutely forgot Impulse had this, so I was pleasantly surprised. And look at the view! Here is Jumbo Gumbo's rock couch. I really like this build. He always said he wasn't a very good builder, even though he actually was, so I was surprised when he came out with this. I wasn't even sure he was capable of coherent thought. All the bridges that are around somewhat feel like a foreshadowing for the Spanish for me.
The base wasn't very walkable, I couldn't find my way around, but I assumed that's just me being an idiot again, and I gave up and started flying. There was also a lot of random doors that led to absolutely nowhere. I wonder where they are. I think I will record them at some point, but right now you're just seeing me struggling. Oh, there they are. Yep, there was a lot of those. I kept opening all doors for no reason and then realized they just led you nowhere. And at some point I just started throwing myself off places because I could not figure out for the life of me how the pathway walked. It's been a while since I've watched season 8, so I don't really remember, but I imagine Scar to have died here at least once. Even though it's still very pretty. And look at that! The amazing back to Korean's Midnight Alley. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that just incredible? Anyway, I kept on doing my stuff, looking at all. There's Korean's observatory again. I cut it out, but it was insanely difficult to find the way in. And then I remembered that the way in was at the top and that there was no door. So I went in. Here, Korean would calculate the increasing size of the moon with the little lines with glasses on the corner, and he would put a chain every time it grew. Unfortunately, at that moment, the moon wasn't at the right position. I also tried to go inside Scar's mountains, but there really wasn't much. That build is absolutely incredible to me. They look so realistic. I don't know how he does it. And here we are finally at Peril's Mega Base. I remember she originally built this whole thing out of stone and then changed it. Her methods are insane. For the first time in this video, I tried to go through the proper way and look at the anchors to make the thing. It was incredible. I still think I went in through the wrong way though, for obvious reasons. But then I found the right way. Yay! And I really like her interiors. They remind me a little bit of Scar's, but with a bit of lighter colors. I think his builds, her pearl doors again, I think his builds are very earthy, just like hers, except his go through a more like steampunk style, like I said, and hers are like, again, still very rustic and earthy, but in a different way. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not a designer. Pearl's doors are something very interesting to deal with. Doo. Over here are a lot of Pearl's stuff like farms, all of that. Redstone farms. She has a tree farm over here. Well, she had. Now they're gone, and now it's all mine, and it belongs to me. I don't know how they even planned this whole layout out for this whole houses. I've tried making houses in Minecraft before, and they look good outside, but I can't figure out the inside. At some point I got sick and changed the weather because I could not see what was happening properly. And now it is the day! Yippee! I really like the entire thing going on. There's her llama over there. The chains holding the building together. Every shape. The flowery shapes happening. I really don't know how they come up with this. I don't understand these people's brains. But hey, like I said, at least they get paid for this. At least this is their job. You know, you guys know what my job is? I don't have one. That's why I'm recording this. I will be heading back to the center for a very important reason now. I'm just trying to find a good place. Since the hermits have abandoned this, I am now going to add a little bit of myself in here. I'm going to make my amazing starter base. So without further ado, let's go into super fast building mode. C'est finite, c'est exquisite. After making my incredible build, I first tried to check out if I could somehow make the Boatem pole actually look like the Boatem pole, and I failed miserably. The good thing is that I managed to place at least one, so at least there's one boat instead of no boat. I then continued testing, but I will try to figure it out later. I am now heading towards the rocket that the hermits in Boatem used to escape from the server. It looks very freaking cool up here, and once again I struggled to get in. I keep wondering how the hell Scar built this. Either way, I ended up going through the holes where they dropped from, because I couldn't find any other way. Again, it happened again. Then I struggled to go up a ladder. And oh, it's the tag. Well, that was that. I don't know where it is anymore. Okay, anyways, I want to say to everyone, thank you so much for watching this video all the way up here. I really hope you enjoyed my tour and did not have a problem with all the inconsistencies that there were. I want to say goodbye to everyone and blah 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 blah. YouTuber stuff, I don't know. I don't post videos. Bye everyone, bye, 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 bye. Now I'm going to jump off the hole. Whee! Seriously? Whee! Huh? Wait, what? Why am I not dead? Hello? Is there anyone there? Hello? Hello? Why am I not dead? Why am I not dying? I'm stuck here. Oh, okay,